SMTN.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Shin Megami Tensei Network, link 280. I am your host, Spencer Presley. Joining me for this very role-playing centered discussion podcast is my very special co-host, who I feel like I've not talked to in at least 300 years, Mandy of Mandy Lee Plays. How are you doing today?
I am doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on and talking with me all about 2022. And I don't know how you feel about this. I feel like a lot of years will be like, oh, this has some good niche RPGs. I'm excited. But this year really feels like the year for the RPG fan. Like, I feel like Square Enix is releasing 900 games for the rest of the fall. None of them are Forspoken or Forsaken. I keep forgetting whatever one that is for it. But it's like there's so many games from like big, small, indies all over the place. And since we're kind of in a weird lull... Yeah, like since we're in a bit of a weird lull with news, I thought it'd be nice to kind of talk about what we're excited about. In a loose order, I'm sure I'm going to miss something, so if someone out there is mad I don't talk about Baldur's Gate 2 getting re-released or NIS Presents Prinny Volume 3, please, I will accept your hate mail, that's okay. But this is just going to be kind of like a fast and loose discussion. But hey, in case people are not super dedicated listeners and are wondering, who the heck is Mandy? Mandy, real quick, who are you? What do you do? What are you playing? And all that fun stuff.
All right. Well, hi guys. My name is Amanda, but people call me Mandy. I have a channel called Mandy Lee Plays, which focuses more on Nintendo and RPGs and JRPGs because it's my favorite genre. And right now, what I'm playing is Fire Emblem Three Hopes. I've been playing Stray, which is not an RPG, but, you know, you gotta add something different.
Well, you're role-playing as the cat.
Well, yeah, in that case, but doesn't have the traditional RPG mechanics. I'm also playing Monster Hunter Rise. That's a good one. And I'm knee-deep into the Atelier series.
Ooh, which one?
Well, I just finished Atelier Fierce, and now I'm on Atelier Lady and Suelle. I'm making my way through all of them.
I always forget which one's on what system. Are you playing them on the Switch ports, or which system?
The Switch ports.
Gotcha. No, that's probably the better one for it.
And they're like...
Oh, sorry, what?
They're broken up into trilogies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't say that because they added Sophie too, so...
True.
But yeah, there's a lot of games, but I love the Atelier series. I'm a new fan.
That's awesome. I was a really late fan to it. I guess technically my first Gust RPG that I beat was the Arno game on Vita, Arno Surge Plus. And then I finally got into Sophie, Eska and Logi, a lot of the Vita ports and stuff. And then my last one I played, I haven't played Sophie 2 yet, but I heard good stuff. I really got into Ryza 2, which was really fun because that was one of the first PS5 RPGs. Because there weren't a lot of native ports. But the thing that stinks about it was there are so few people out there, and the PS5 version sold so poorly compared to PC, Switch, and everything else, that they just stopped making native PS5 versions. So Sophie 2 is on PS4, but it's not on PS5. So it kind of stinks that they had to take a step back. But hopefully, when more PS5s and stuff come out there, because that series looks really, really good in 4K and stuff. So that's a really good one to always recommend, because I feel like so many people don't even know about the Atelier series.
I always say start with Atelier Ryza,
Mm-hmm.
And I did play Atelier Ryza 2. That was actually my first review copy. I was
Oh,
so excited.
nice.
And it was a game that I actually loved, so I couldn't stop talking about it. But yeah, the series is got popular with Ryza because of the marketing, I guess. And a lot of people call her Thyza.
Oh, I
But
was gonna say it as soon as you stopped talking. I was gonna say, in case anyone wasn't aware of what this game is, it's the Thigh game because Ryza rhymes with Thyza. Now, I gotta say, you dropped a bombshell on me at the beginning of the show that if you've told me, I may have like been Men in Black like wiped out. So please forgive me if you already have. I had no idea your name was Amanda. I thought it was just Mandy. That blew my mind when you said that.
oh well, yeah. Um, I kind of assume people think it's Amanda since
I've
it's short for Mandy
I've
because
literally
people.
never heard Amanda being shortened to Mandy. I've only ever known people whose names were Mandy. So like that like really like blew my mind of like when you like find out that Rob can be Bob, like Robert can be Bob of like it's like oh my god, this like unlocked an entire thing of like names I never thought of before. So that's so funny just cuz like they don't look that similar of names. So like in your real life does everyone just call you Amanda?
Yes. Well, people sometimes call me Mandy. My family calls me Amanda. It just depends. I react to both.
Here's the scenario. You're running into like you're having your like love at first sight moment. What do you introduce yourself as? Do you want this person to call you Amanda or Mandy? Like which one do you prefer?
Well, I introduced myself as Amanda, and maybe down the line I'll say, "Oh, my nickname is Mandy."
Gotcha. It's like the mysterious second. So like my wife when I met her introduced so her name is her first name. She has two first names. Is Mary Renee. And when I met
Wow.
her, she just said, "Oh, call me Mary," or like you can call me Mary or whatever. Which is, by the way, very weird because I don't ever call like her by her first name. This is like the most I've ever said this. Um, but when I met her, everyone in her church and her family all called her Renee. Because like it was just
Oh
one of those
yeah.
things where like people I don't know how it got started or whatever. So anytime I'd meet people when I went to her church and she has like a bunch of people that like go to her church with her, it was all like, oh, it's Renee, oh, it's Renee's, oh, it's Renee, and I'm like I know it's her name, but like we never call her by that. So it's like so funny to me of like I like. The only time I'll call her Renee is like if I'm doing that I'm joking, I'm mad thing. Like like when you like are calling like someone by their full name to get their attention. I'll be like, that's like the only time I'll ever
Yeah.
say. Like, I can't ever imagine like saying it in a serious thing for it. But that is, I
Another thing is
mm,
my middle name is actually Lee, so
is your last name
Mandy
Plays?
Lee. No,
That would be
it's
funny.
not.
It's like actually that is just my full legal name, Amanda Lee Plays.
Yeah, it wasn't that much of a unique kind of name for a channel. I was
I,
just like Mandy Lee
ma'am, ma'am,
Clay.
you're
I don't know
talking to
why I put my
someone
last
who's
name, but I
you're
can't do
talking
that.
to someone whose YouTube name is literally his first and last name. I didn't even have the creative strength to put Plays in front of it, so you're doing better than I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, so are you enjoying Three Hopes and stuff? We were talking a little bit before the show got started. I've been wanting to play a lot more of it. I've really loved everything I've done for it, but like there's too many games. But like, how are you liking it?
I
Like,
love it.
mm-hmm.
It's really, really fun. Like I said, the gameplay is warrior style, so it's I can see why some people don't like that kind of gameplay, but I just love it. It's so satisfying to just like whip people like a wet paper towel. That's just really how it goes. And I like the story. I won't get into it because of spoilers, but I kind of like it better than the Three Houses storyline.
Oh, same here. So I bought Three
I
Houses
feel like it
actually
makes more
just for
sense.
this game when it got announced because I never played it until this year, and like so I was going through Three Houses and I was really liking it, but then like when the demo hit, I was like, I think I like this game more than Three Houses.
Yeah, because I feel like everyone makes more sense.
Hmm.
instead of just, what happens in Three Houses. So I just feel like the story was, well, for now, I haven't finished the game or any route, but I'm enjoying the story more.
It would be very
Which is weird
funny.
because it's a Warriors game.
It's really long, and that's like just for like I can't even imagine doing all three routes, but I will do it eventually one day. I will say
Hmm.
everyone I know who's beaten it has says it holds up story wise, so that makes me very very excited. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I'm so I don't know. Maybe they'll find a way to like go back and forth. I think Shez is a million times more of an interesting protagonist than Byleth ever was.
Yeah. I mean, Byleth talks. That kind of threw me off.
It's true. Byleth has a
And
personality.
she's
Like,
actually scary.
oh yeah.
Why is
So
she
how did you
actually
go for male
scary?
female for Shez and Byleth? Like, which one did you pick?
Well, for Three Houses, I played all three routes. So I had my first female and then a male character, and then I played as another female, and they took that name, which I named her Lucina. So it was funny when I saw Lucina. I was like, what? Did they just take my character? That's so weird. I was like, dang.
It was such a good name they
I
had to steal
mean,
it from you.
it would make sense because we don't need two, like, Mandys running around. Because you could name the protagonists of Three Hopes and Three Houses, so if they're both Mandy, it would be, like, weird.
Oh yeah. So what house
Oh,
are
okay.
you in so far with Three Hopes?
I'm doing the Black Eagles since I
Same.
did them last in Three Houses. Ah, Edelgard. I don't really like her character, but I like her better in Three Hopes.
It's let me tell you, because I think I was talking to Michelle slash Yorsh about this, and I legitimately never realized like how horny people are for this game. Of like, I picked it because A, I think the characters were interesting, and B, I like the color red. But then it was literally like, yeah, I can definitely see how people pick this with like how horny they are towards which character. Like I was like, no, I mean I didn't honestly think of any level of romancing for any character in this game. But I'm like, yeah, man, if you want to hook up with these guys and girls, I don't even know if you can in Three Hopes or whatever. I'm sure that would dictate a lot of people's decisions.
Yeah, I mean, I never romanced any of the main characters, but I just picked Blue Lions first because it was blue. And my favorite color is blue.
Hey, it's okay. We can set aside our differences for the sake of the podcast. But are you like thinking you're gonna want to do each route back to back to back, or especially with like kind of like how like busy the next couple of months are going to be games wise? Do you think you're going to space them out?
I think I could space them out, especially because they're warrior games. Like I could only play. It's a good game to pick up and put down.
You can only press X and
In
Y
my
so many
opinion.
times in a day.
Hmm?
I said you can only press X and Y, mashing those buttons so many times.
Yeah, I mean sometimes I could pull off a combo, but
I'll
it's,
say
it's just like real.
I'll say
Go
this.
ahead.
So I didn't have, and I never owned a Pro controller until I think
Holy cow!
February or March. I finally bought
My
one, and
God.
I'd used them before, but I always was like, I hate this controller, but I don't want it. I prefer just the normal Joy Cons only as like my preferred way to
What?
play. I know no one has ever agreed with me on this, but I will say I still love playing with the Joy Cons. There are certain games where I'm like,
I,
oh, this works really well for it. And Warrior games on the Pro Controller, I think, fit very, very nicely. Because they got those big buttons. They're much bigger than the Joy-Cons and stuff for it. So, like, that I
yeah, they
really,
could
really
take
liked for it.
the mashing more than the poor Georgia cons.
I gotta
But
be careful. Those Joy-Cons gonna break them
that's
halfway through a
so
level.
shocking. I 100%, but I mainly play with my Pro controller 90% of the time.
Do you have, like, a
Because
preferred
I just
one?
can't. Huh?
Like, do you have any of, like, the special edition ones? So, like, for me, the one I finally ended up buying was after they announced Xenoblade 3, I bought the Xenoblade 2 Pro Controller. The, like, pink and green one.
Okay, well, I have a regular black, which I just put Pusheen stickers on, and I have a special edition Monster Hunter one.
Ooh, did you see the one for Sunbreak? That I saw that one in person
Yes,
recently
I
for the first
did.
time. It is
I was
very
like,
pretty.
F you. No, it wasn't like that, but
I'll say this.
I'd be like, why?
I might have to buy another one soon. Did you see the Splatoon 3 one? That looks sexy. I'm not gonna lie.
That looks sexy. I'm gonna have to
Ooh, as a fellow
get that.
bad Nintendo fan, I gotta get your opinion on this because I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast. How do you feel about the white Splatoon 3 OLED next month?
The white. Oh, that one looks so sexy.
Okay, so
It's a very good
I've
looking
heard some
console.
people who are like, "Oh, I don't like it because it just looks random with like the paint," but like I love that it's white. Like I don't know why. Like something about, like if it was black with the splots, I almost don't think I would have liked it as much. But like I'm weirdly really excited. Oh, and also like the like two-tone Joy-Cons. I
Oh,
can't.
they look so good. The detail is just.
I really hope that doesn't like sell out super fast. Like, please be like the Animal Crossing
They
one.
are.
Please, like,
They
no,
are.
don't jinx it. Don't jinx. I know I don't need this because like I literally just bought a Switch in 2020. Like, I bought that all red Mario one. Like, I like that Switch. It gets me through the day. It's very fine. But I'm like, I was like, I have no need for an OLED. And then Nintendo said, "Are you sure about that?" And that Splatoon one really is tempting me.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, I don't need an OLED. I don't need it. It's just aesthetic. Don't do it. I'm fine now, but I guess if I see it in person, I might just impulse buy it.
But unfortunately, we are not here to talk about Splatoon. Although, hey, never say never with this show. But we are going to break down and kind of go over uh, RPGs. Don't have to necessarily be JRPGs, but I'm sure most of them will be JRPGs. We're going to start with the first one of two HD 2D games we're going to talk about back to back. I don't have this. I've played the original, I've played the demo, and I'm very ready to buy this as soon as I don't have to be an adult and pay rent twice in a month and cry over not having a vehicle. But Live Alive just came out last Friday. It's now out everywhere worldwide. Mandy, do you have any thoughts about it? Did you pick it up? Did you play the demo? What do you think of Live Alive?
I haven't picked it up because, yeah, money thing.
Money.
But I think it's a weird game. I don't know. The title is weird, and I noticed on the box art, I'm like, where the females at?
There are female party members. It's not like those are the only guys you're playing as, but yeah, like from the box, it's a weird sell. I will say this: God bless them for only charging $50 because I feel like 60's asking a lot. I think 50's
I
perfect.
thought it was 60.
No, it's 50. It's a discount game.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. So
But yeah, I haven't played it. It looks good. I like the concept. It's like a Octopath Traveler back then. But I have a thing with JRPGs from like the classic ones because they were like so generic and boring back then.
Okay, so I don't know if you're on your phone or computer for this. Look up a screenshot. Oh, actually, here, I can send you one on Twitter right now. I will send you a screenshot of what Live Alive looks like on the Super Nintendo. Because, like, the old Super Nintendo one looks extremely generic. Like, it is very much like it was a low budget for its time game. And, like, I think it's funny, like, the people who look at the... Like, the people who look at the HD remake of it are like, it's probably the least visually interesting one compared to Octopath and Triangle Strategy. But, like, compared to the original, it's way, way, way better looking in every way, shape, and form. Like, the sprite art, like, everything is, like, redone. Like, nothing is just copy and pasted, which is nice.
Yeah, the Octopath Traveler engine is perfect for that type of game.
I was actually
the
talking to a
only
friend
really-
about this. What was interesting was because it is such a simple game they're remaking, it's probably the best performing HD 2D game. Because like Octopath definitely had a lot of frame drops in battle, and Triangle Strategy, especially when you'd be moving the camera around, would like dip in frame rate a lot. Whereas this one is a lot more like kind of steady. Oh, really quick, I don't know if you played it very much. Like, did you ever pick up Triangle Strategy?
Yes, I did. I did a review of it, and let's just say I wasn't happy.
Damn, I'm a bad fan.
Boy,
I've
man.
bought it twice, and I still have not picked it up, like opened and played it. I've only done the demo. It came out at that really crowded time where like everything was dropping in March.
I mean, let me just say, you could like you could literally play the game and do something else because the story is just so
It's a
long.
lot. It's a lot of
Thank
talking.
God it's voice acted. God bless those people.
Gotta make that money, you know. Gotta turn those 3 pages into 30.
Yeah, my review, I just ripped and teared through that story. I was like, this is boring.
It's definitely not for everybody. It's definitely kind of like of a forward swing. I will say this for Live Alive, for not only you but for everyone else. The demo on the eShop is really, really good. Of like, you're gonna know if you like this game or not. It gives you 3 different settings. I think it's like Ninja, Future, and I think the Chinese one. It's a good kind of palate taste of what the game's like gameplay-wise. Everything transfers over to the full game. And the nice thing is about the story is, like, it's not a lot of story. Like, each one of the character routes can be beaten in, like, 3 hours. So, like, it's a, like,
Yeah,
around
that's
20 to
interesting.
30 hour long RPG, which is really nice and, like, kind of rare.
Yeah. I'm guessing since it was originally an older title, this like back then story wasn't prioritized.
It's got to
So
focus on story, and the story is very good. Like they did a lot of stuff in terms of like interesting storytelling, but I think it was more of a try to show a lot of different perspectives as opposed to make a 30-hour game out of each thing. So like a good example is there's the little prehistoric boy who you can play as. And his whole campaign, there's no talking. There's no voice acting. There's no text. Everything is talked and like used through emoticons. So like each one
that's
is
fresh.
it's very different and kind of interesting. So like you're still learning and progressing in the story, but it's more like kind of think of them as like watching little movies as opposed to like grand adventures. And they do all tie in, thankfully.
Oh, okay. That sounds really cool, actually.
hmm
But
I hope that game does well. I've been so worried about it for so long, just because like it's coming out a week before Xenoblade and Digimon and stuff, and I'm like, especially like 2 back-to-back Nintendo published RPGs. I'm like, I hope this does well because Triangle Strategy did fine, but honestly, this one I have more. I want this game to succeed almost more than Triangle Strategy for me, just because I love the original so much, and it is such a good one. Because, like, you mentioned, like, I don't know how much games focused on stories. Like, Square, like Final Fantasy, like, 4 and 6, and even 5, those are long games. Like, Chrono Trigger is kind of even a little longer, I would say, than Live Alive. But, like, back then, I feel like even RPGs back then, you would be playing around 40, 50 hours. So, like, this was short for the time, even back on the Super Nintendo.
yeah. Well, it's nice that it got a breath of fresh air
Yeah,
and
and
another chance.
it's at least been nice that, like, I haven't heard a lot of people who bought it, but everyone I know who's been playing it has enjoyed it. Like, it's been at least... Because, like, Triangle Strategy, I kind of knew wasn't going to be for everybody, because that's a very
Uh,
heavy story, very difficult kind of gameplay and different things like that for it. Of, like, that's
I
not a
was looking
game...
so.
Yeah,
I was hyping the game up before it came out. I was like, this game is gonna be the best, and it's
it
didn't.
burned you.
Yeah.
That's
And it was the
interesting.
story. The gameplay is perfectly fine.
That is so interesting, though, I must say. Just due to the fact that, like, I don't think I've heard a lot of people who like didn't like it that beat it. So you're probably like one of the few people I know who beat it who didn't really love it. So that's an interesting kind of aside. Now, did you know this will be coming out a day after we recorded, but 2 days from now, another Square Enix HD 2D game comes out?
Damn, Square Enix. Holy cow.
It is Octopath Traveler: Champions of the Continent, the mobile game. We finally get it
Uh,
in the West after like 2 years. I don't know if it's good. I actually don't like Octopath Traveler at all. It's been described to me as basically just more Octopath Traveler, but for mobile. I don't know if you have any interest in it or if you liked the original, but this couldn't be less up my alley if I tried.
I really dislike mobile games. Like, to me, mobile games are like a pinko machine, and I'm not into that.
Has there ever been a
Square.
mobile game you liked on your phone?
No.
I'm trying to think of,
No.
what could change it. How do you feel about, obviously I know how you feel about gacha. How do you feel about games like the really mindless, turn your brain off, like Temple Run, or like Flappy Bird, like those ones like that are just like...
Oh, yeah. Those I used to play when they didn't have, like, the microtransaction be...
Mhm.
Because back then, mobile games were actually fun. They didn't shove anything down your throat. But there is a difference. I don't mind games that are ported to mobile, that are full games that you play, that you have to pay for.
Mhm.
But I do mind free-to-play games. Like, I hate the free-to-play model.
Feels a
Nothing in
little
life is
yucky,
free.
doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm just like, why can't I just pay for this game and not have, like, skins and text and different characters?
So, next up on the 28th, this is not what most people are going to think I'm going to bring up first. We have Captain Velvet Meteor, the Jump Plus Dimensions. Do you know what this is?
What the frick? I've
It was in
heard
the
of
last
it?
partner direct, and it was only in a sizzle reel.
Yeah, let me Google
So,
it. What is it
fun
called?
fact, it is a action RPG exclusively on the Switch, and it uses Shueisha manga that it has the rights to. I'll just tell you this. Mostly I wanted to mention it for this fact, because when I saw this, I thought it was like a joke. It has Lloyd from Spy Family in it.
What?
It's got a bunch of different characters from different manga. I don't think I have a list of everyone in there, but Lloyd from Spy Family is in it, and my mind just about melted. Of I was waiting for the joke part of this. I was like, oh, and then I was like, no, so here we go. It has participating characters. There is Monster 8. It has Heartgear, Slime Life, Hell's Paradise, Summertime Rendering, Tis Time for Torture, Ghost Reaper Girl, and then the one that they probably spent the most money on was Spy Family.
Is it like a anime multi-universe thing?
The story is you are a kid who is obsessed with exclusively Shueisha manga, and so it's called Jump Plus. So he basically makes up this fantasy world in his head where he works with all these different manga characters that he loves, and that's where the different Jump Plus characters come in. And I'm like, this is such a weird concept. I'm sure this game is going to get absolutely ignored to hell. It's a Switch exclusive. It is coming out worldwide everywhere. I am interested in it, not enough to be like, hey, I'm picking this up day one, but I'm like, especially with how big Spy Family is, I'm like, wow, this is like perfect timing for an indie game nobody is talking about.
What is it called again?
Really bad name. Captain Velvet Meteor, the Jump Plus Dimensions.
Imagine, like, asking the Walmart lady.
It is digital only, which I'm sure will surprise nobody.
Captain what?
Captain Velvet Meteor, the Jump
Okay.
Plus Dimensions.
Even Google's doesn't know. Captain Velvet.
So I gotta ask though. So I saw you tweeted recently. You finally started watching Spy Family. Were you just fine breaking down? I'll watch the popular show, or what finally got you to start watching it?
Oh, well, I like to watch shows when, the season's done.
Oh,
So I
I
don't
get.
like the weekly thing, and I wanted to wait until they had the
Are there
English stuff.
are there any shows you love but you hate to watch weekly? Like that right now is me with Better Call Saul. I don't know if you watch that, but I watched Breaking Bad when it was on weekly, and even that was rough, but that was a long time ago. And Better Call Saul, I was really bad at watching, and I ended up marathoning all 6 seasons leading up to the final 6 in a week and a half. And then like so there were 7 episodes left by the time I finally caught up, and each one has been so agonizing to wait. I'm like, oh my god! Like even right now, like as soon as we're done with the show, I'm gonna go watch the new episode, and I'm like, oh my god! Like I forgot how painful this is when you really love a show, so I can definitely understand waiting for the whole thing to be done.
Yeah, I do that a lot with Attack on Titan. I kind
so
of
behind
waited,
on
but
Attack on
then
Titan.
like there was this point, and then I just read the manga. I hated the ending, by the way, but
Oh dang it!
that's why I was like, I just like my like my anime, just like nice season done. I could binge it,
Is
not
there
have to wait a week.
is there a show that you wouldn't let yourself wait, where you'd be like, I have to know as soon as it's out? Like, were there any shows that you're that crazy for?
That used to be Attack on Titan because I was like, I wanted to know what happened so bad. I started reading the manga.
I wonder if
Yeah,
the anime ending will make anyone who didn't like the ending in the manga like enjoy it. I wonder if there's anything that they could do to that, but probably not.
I think they're gonna end it the same way they did.
Yeah. Well, it depends on if they ever end it. Like, God, when they finally announce that final season part 2, just kidding, guys, final season part 3, let's keep going. We'll just keep stretching it out. Stretching it out.
Yeah, because in the manga, everything happens so quick. Like, really fast.
I mean, you gotta think about it. It's like Demon Slayer. So Demon Slayer, do you watch or read Demon Slayer at all?
No, but I like the character designs.
So Demon Slayer has been done for a while. The manga has been done forever. And what's funny about it, it's like a 24-volume manga. And what's interesting about it is, like, I'm sure the people who are animating Demon Slayer are like, go as slow as possible. That's why, like, in Demon Slayer, the movies are all canon. So they're not like how normal anime movies are where they're like non-canon adventures. Like, it actually progressed the story. But what was funny about that was, like, just to milk it even more, they started the second season by just retelling the movie split up in 20-minute chunks. Like, that's how you know they're like, nope, can't rush this, guys. We gotta get as much marketing out of this as possible.
I mean, at least it's not like One Piece. I hate One Piece.
I'm biased. Like, I love all One Piece, but, like, I will say, I'm a little more excited knowing that we're almost to the end. Because, like, this last arc was, I think, almost 4.5 years long for one arc.
Yeah, there's a problem when your anime is a little bit too long.
But see,
like thousands of episodes.
For stuff like Naruto,
perfect.
I love Naruto, but Naruto had really bad filler. Bleach had awful filler. But, like, One Piece, like, even the filler, I love One Piece filler. Like, it's just because, like, One Piece's vibe doesn't feel like... It has stakes, but it doesn't feel like, what are you doing? Because, like, Bleach was always like, why is there filler? Like, the world's about to end. And, like, Naruto always made me so mad when we were in filler hell. Of, like, just go to Shippuden. Age him up. He's been so old in the manga for years. Why is he still doing these random ass adventures with people? That doesn't affect anything. Whereas, like, One Piece is like, listen, man, we're all going to the Grand Line. It doesn't really matter. Just do whatever.
Like, I think the One Piece is just the journey to get there. And
I'll tell you this. There is no way in hell One Piece has an ending everyone loves. Because One Piece, like, there's no, like, they would have to, like, the treasure at the Grand Line, the One Piece treasure, would literally have to be like Luffy punching God in the face for everyone to be like, awesome, he did it. Like, I don't know any way they're going to end One Piece without anyone being like, that was a huge waste of my time.
Yeah, imagine it's just like gold and treasure. And
I mean, you would assume
the friendships we made.
You would assume, but it's like the funny thing is, like, One Piece has gone on so long. It's like no one has gotten the treasure, or if they've gotten the treasure, why have they not left with it and then been like, oh, I found it? So it's like, it is. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
I trust Oda-san. I trust Oda-san. He's been doing this for so long. It's just so funny. I'm like, I don't know how you fucking end that show. Like, I would be like stuck in a room forever. I'd be like, how do we end this without everyone hating us?
I'm telling, it's gonna be the friendship generic thing because he's gonna end it. So he got all the stuff from before. all the hype. So he's just like, let me just like
I wondered, would people
test this
appreciate
out.
this, or would they like boo it off the stage? What if it's like a we found the treasure, but Luffy has to die, and it's a really sad ending? But would
That
people
would be
would people
actually
hate that?
pretty deep. Since you spend like 1,000 episodes with the dude.
I mean, God, you'd hope so. I mean, like honestly, like knowing me, like I'm gonna say all this, and One Piece is gonna end. They find the treasure; it's literally just gold, and then they eat it like Sanji's restaurant, and then that's the that's the end of the show. They're
So
just
Luffy
eating.
might die, but then power of friendship compelled him in the One Piece, and then now the One Piece is Luffy or something.
Oh, oh no, no! Now it's too meta. I can't have Luffy be the One Piece. No, it's gonna be Luffy's long lost dad. Luffy's dad was the One Piece all along.
Or put Goku in the I don't know. Something.
Oh, I do not. Yeah, God bless you, One Piece. Good luck on your ending. I wish it for you hope, but yeah, not too optimistic there. But Captain Velvet, have to give it a shout out. God knows no one else will. Another one I don't have a lot to say because this is literally just a port, and this is not coming out in the West on this day. But Grim Grimoire once more is coming out. Are you aware of Grim Grimoire?
Grim Grimoire, like Nier?
It was a PS2 game by Vanillaware, like the people who did 13 Sentinels and Odin Sphere. This was the only game they did published by NIS. So it is actually a real-time strategy, like tower defense game, like an actual tower defense real-time strategy on the PS2. It was called Grim Grimoire, and it is a very beautiful but really hard game. And out of nowhere, earlier this year, they announced they're releasing it on PS4 and Switch. I'm assuming we'll get it in the West sometime either this fall or early next year. Like, really, there's no rush for it to come out. But shout out to Grim Grimoire coming out. If you like Vanillaware games, I'm not sure if you liked any of their
I
past
love
stuff.
Sentinels. Oh.
I'll tell you this is way better gameplay than 13 Sentinels.
Oh yeah, the gameplay was kind of
That's a low bar. I'm aware it's a low
pulled
bar.
through.
But yeah, so this will at least be nice where it's launching on PlayStation and Switch, and I'm sure it'll come out on PC in the West as well. So hopefully this will be a case of Vanillaware finally making a game and it doing gangbusters sales-wise everywhere else. But that one, thankfully, is going to be our only JP only one for now. Our next one, I'll let you pick. What do you want to talk about first? Digimon Survive or Xenoblade 3?
I actually have a question
Yeah.
since you're an expert when it comes to Persona.
Mm-hmm.
So Persona, the one coming for the Switch, is that the like legit one? Like Persona 4 Royal? Persona 4 Golden?
Yeah, so all the ones that are coming, P5R in October, and then P4G and P3P next year, those will all be the same version. The only difference I've heard is basically the Switch version of Persona 5 in October is going to be like 720p 30 FPS, but that's literally what the PS4 did, so not that surprising.
Well, I played Persona 4 Golden and Persona 5, but my concern is Persona 3. Because it's a portable edition. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, isn't Fez the final edition?
So, Fez actually didn't come out last. The last one was portable. So, portable on the PSP came out, I think it was 2009 or 2010. And, oh my god. So, when I was moving, actually, I found my copy of it. It's like right within arm's reach, but I'm just too lazy to grab it. I still have my receipt from when I bought Persona 3 Portable at GameStop. Like on launch day, because like I'm stupid and I never get rid of any of my receipts, and I think it's just for moments like this where I open them up and I go like, "What day was it?" Oh my god! But yeah, so it's not going to include the contents of Fez, which is basically just the answer and the 3D running around environments. But besides that, it's all of the same content from the original Persona 3. Now there's an option that you can play as a female protagonist, and there's different music, different social links. So obviously now if you play as the woman, you can romance people like Junpei or Akihiko, and there's actually characters you can save who originally died in the game that are now savable in the portable version.
Okay, because like I was like Fez, and then I was like portable edition. Like,
There's a lot of weird confusion because it's whereas Persona 4 and Persona 5 have one definitive play this edition.
Yeah.
3's weird because it kind of got split and they're so different. I'm definitely in the camp. Everyone I know has their own opinions for it, but portable is the way to go. It's the best playing. It's the best looking one, at least in terms of the natural games and stuff for it. So when you're in the overworld and like you're doing your social sim stuff, that plays like a visual novel. So instead of running around the environment, you're just moving around the world with like visual novel elements. But when you're in the gameplay with the battles, that's all 3D. So that plays exactly like how it would normally. You're still crawling around dungeons with your 3D models and your outfits and everything else.
Can you control your NPCs?
That is the best part. Persona 3 Portable is the only one that lets you actually control your NPCs. Fez and the original one only let you play as yourself, and then the NPCs are all auto-controlled.
Mare and Karen.
But
thank you for that.
No problem.
I started Persona with Persona 5, so I had to work my way backwards because, Atlas.
Hey, most people are in your camp. You are the majority, I would say.
Yeah, so they left a lot of people saying, if this is the 5th, where are the other ones?
Does it start with Smash Brothers? I'm confused. Where does this character start? Is it Tokyo Mirage Sessions? What am I doing here?
And I heard the first one got remastered into PSP version. I'm like, why didn't they bring that too?
The first and second, the first 3 games, the 1 and the 2 duology, were all remastered for PSP. But then the worst part is we never got the finale of the second game. We only ever got the original PS1 version. So there's still a remaster on PSP we never got in the West.
Oh, okay. Because, I heard that one was split into 2.
Hmm? Well, that one's a little bit different. It's 2 stories of the same coin. So, like, it's not like a part 1 and a part 2. It's basically, here's this character story, and then here's this character story. But they share a lot of similar themes, settings, and different aspects. But they are both their own complete game. It's not like it's Avengers, where everyone gets snapped at the end and go, see you in part 2. You're like, no!
Yeah, I did watch an explainer video, or, retrospect of Persona 1 and, Persona 2, the duology. Because I'm like, we're never going to get that. So.
You're gonna get them. It's just going to take a long time. Like, remember how long it felt like for us to get Persona 4 Golden on consoles? It's gonna take, that much time.
Yeah, so...
But yeah, I guess since we're kind of talking about anime-like stuff, or I guess more anime than anything, Digimon Survive, here's your time to break my heart or make me really happy. I'll let you find out which is the right answer. What are your thoughts on the Digimon franchise?
I'm not into Digimon, so I'm not into Digimon.
If I was funny, I would have just hung up the call, but then that would have been rude, but that would have been funny, so just to let you know. But no, I think no, it's okay. Most people aren't, which is fine. I want to at least see if I can interest you with this. So I'm assuming because you're not interested in Digimon, you probably don't know anything about Survive. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, so let me see if this does anything for you. I'm going to use some buzzwords. No, it's okay. Most people listening to this, like I said, do not know what Digimon Survive is. So Digimon Survive is a tactical RPG, and it is also a visual novel survivor game. So think the story is like Danganronpa mixed with Devil Survivor in terms of tactical RPGs, but still having mechanics of evolving, collecting, and growing your Digimon while also having bonds with your friends. But where the Danganronpa thing comes in is people can live or die versus your choices. So it's all choice-based. And it's not like, oh, you have to do this before someone dies. No. If you pick choice A, choice B can never happen, and someone may live or may die, and there's multiple different endings. So it's this thing of you're a bunch of kids at it's a very deep, it's weird because it looks more kiddie than it actually is, but it is it is a survival game in that weird aspect of you're at a summer camp as a bunch of older teens. I think they might be either high school or college age, but they get sucked into the digital world, and all of them have to try and find a way out in these life or death situations where they meet their Digimon partners and also trying to figure out what's going on. So it's got that collecting aspect, RPG aspect with the battles. What? It's a tactical game. It's all 2D art. And then the story segments are kind of play like those investigation moments in Danganronpa, except there's actual multiple choices you can pick, not just one right answer.
I think you sold me on a game.
It looks great. I the only thing that has me worried is it's been in development for, I swear, like 5 years. And it even switched developers like multiple times. So I hope it's good. I would say definitely wait to see what people think when it comes out on Friday. But like, most of the time Digimon games hit and they're really good. But like this one, at the very least, I don't think is being sent out to die, because like this one's literally being put on everything. So it's Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC. So like, as long
it's on Game Pass.
It's not on Game Pass, not yet at least. But that would be a good one for Game Pass, though. But I think as long as this like halfway nails the idea of the concept, I think this will be one that'll be really good word of mouth. Whereas, like, it's going to get all the Digimon
Bandai
fans...
Namco, hit me up.
Well, dude, that's the thing that sucks. Bandai Namco's not sending out review codes for this, so it's like, there won't be reviews when the game drops, so, like, we'll just have to wait. And, like, on one hand, that's usually a sign that the game's bad, but not always. I think it's this. So this is our first ever worldwide release Digimon game. With licensed music, lots of voice acting. Because remember, with Digimon, you have Toei. So Toei Animation's going to have a lot... Like, this is going to be... You stream this, there you go, copyright hit, there you go. Like, it's one of those things where I bet because of the weird licensing thing with Digimon and Toei, they don't even want to risk the chance of this being put out and, like, people streaming it early or playing it by mistake and just want to wait until everyone can get it. So I hope that's why, and I hope it's great, because they had a public demo at Anime Expo, and everyone I know who played it said it is fantastic. Like, it looks great, it plays great, the performance was good. So, like, as long as, like, that demo wasn't, like, a total catfish, I'm praying it is good. Because I've been waiting so long.
But it's still, like... You have to send review copies, because, like, okay, a YouTuber might not review a game because they don't get a review copy. Because games are expensive.
I think because it's Digimon, though, like, they kind of know, like, there's going to be... Like, if it was a new IP, I definitely get you. And I'm sure they'll give copies out on release day. It just won't be early.
I should give one to you. You actually sold me on a game.
I mean, I have a code. I just, like, am going to be... Well, this is the weird thing. So, literally, this week, here is my life. I will be getting Digimon, like, and Xenoblade, and most likely, unless something horrible goes wrong, Soul Hacker codes are going out. So, like, I'm going to have all three of these at once and be like, I have no time for anything, and then I buy Live Alive, and I'm like, damn it, now I can't play Captain Velvet Meteor.
Yeah, that's a lot of games.
It is a lot of games. But, I mean, we're drowning in good games, at least, as opposed to, like, bad ones for it. But no, so, yeah, Digimon Survive. I'll let you know if it fumbles the bag, but, like, definitely is a black sheep of, like, hey, keep an eye on this. Like, because, like, this could be mid. It could be bad. I hope it's not. But, like, it has an opportunity of being, like, there's not any other game really out here like this. So I hope and I pray it is not bad. But, like, I'll let you know. I don't know. For something like that, would that be one you would want to play more on PC, like a home console, or, like, Switch, do you think?
Since he said it has a lot of visual novel stuff, so I don't think graphical fidelity is a big thing. I'll probably get it for the Switch.
I appreciate the honesty. So, speaking of the Switch and things that will sell well, and, well, I shouldn't say will. I know the game's already sold a bajillion copies. Or at least Nintendo-wise, this sold really well. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 comes out, unless you're one of those weirdos who bought it on eBay last week, or evil and hacking the game and stuff. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is finally coming out, and where are you at anticipation-wise for it? Are you a Xenoblade fan? Is this going to be your first one? Like, where are you at?
I'm a diehard fan. Like, I can't wait.
Now,
like my
I don't know if we've actually ever talked about this, so how did you get into the series?
Actually, I got into the series with Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Nice.
I had Xenoblade Chronicles 1, but it was on the 3DS and
Yeah, me too. That was the first time I ever picked up Xenoblade. I didn't play it on Wii. I got the 3DS one. That's a chunky looking game.
yeah, I was about to play it, but then they announced the definitive edition. I was like, oh, thank God.
You're
So
like,
I was
I
like, I
don't have
bought the bullet
I
without
don't
me.
have to play this game in ugly 1080p mode.
Like I see the comparisons and holy cow. I mean the DS was doing the best it can, so give it credit for that. But
That's so funny.
dang.
So how did you feel about 2? How did you feel about Xenoblade 2?
I love Xenoblade Chronicles too. The designs are kind of questionable, but I just love the game and I love the gameplay, but especially the story. I really like the story. Though when I got to play Xenoblade Chronicles 1, that one's my favorite now
Nice.
because I just like that story more and not a bunch of blades and stuff to keep track of.
No gotcha in that one. There's no gotcha system. That's why.
I actually got Cosmos very early in the game for
Oh,
Xenoblade
nice.
Chronicles 2. And then people are like, that's a rare blade. I'm like, I just got her at random at the beginning of the game.
The joy of RNG. You never know.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool, but
How do you feel about
I
the
enjoyed
accents? Let me
Pokemon.
know. I'm not sure what your thoughts are on the dub
Oh,
versus sub
yeah.
one for it, but I am all English voices all the way for Xeno. I don't even think I've ever heard the JP voices.
Yeah, I've heard it, but I always support dubs, so we need more of them. But it was kind of weird because the lip syncing was way off. Which
You should
okay,
have seen the lip syncing on that 3DS version. Then, if you want to talk about lip syncing, that thing, yeah, it's not that
and
hot.
the accents. I mean, I like the different types of accents, but it just was weird. I got used to it after a while.
Let me
But
tell you, actually, speaking of accents, nothing got me more excited for Xenoblade 2 than when I heard the Welsh accents. Because, like, I loved Xenoblade 1, but I was like, man, we need some really thick Welsh accents. And Nia delivered. She fucking brings it big time. And I mean,
yeah,
it's one
she's
of
a
those.
favorite.
I will say this. I don't know if you knew this, but Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is actually the first game in the series. It has separate lip flaps for English and Japanese, so they will be a little bit better looking.
Well, that's nice.
Hmm.
Honestly, the lip syncing I could ignore, but with the accents and stuff, I just had to get used to it. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 wasn't really as bad. It was very British, I think.
So I have to ask you. You can be honest here.
Mhm.
What were your thoughts on how Nintendo sold that special edition?
Of Splatoon?
No, for Xenoblade.
Oh, that was trash fire.
It was so
So
bad you forgot it even happened.
the thing is, they made it so stupid that like it's just asking for scalpers to join in. If it was just like a regular, oh, here's this special edition, people could probably get it faster because they had this whole system going, which is kind of productive. And then you can make a Nintendo account easily, and it was just ridiculous. Now,
Now, assuming
I'm
based off
not
your
like,
answer, were you able to get one?
I didn't even try.
Oh, okay, good. That's at least good because like I tried both days, and it took me on the first day. I literally did it for 9 hours with no success, and the second day, like the second time when they did it, like a couple weeks later, it still took me I think 5 hours, and I finally got it, which is insane. Like
That's
no website
ridiculous.
should make you have to do like a full time shift and a half of a job to spend money.
And the definitive edition, I know you're getting it, but it comes with the book. That's it. I
It's
think it comes with the steel book
It's the
too.
steel book and the art book and the special box, and that's all you get. So it's a funny one of
Yeah, it's
like
like
people being like, "Yo, dude, this collector's edition is trash," and I'm like, "That's okay. You can think it's bad. I need it."
It's really bad. I've seen good collector's edition that they put effort and love.
I think like for $30 more, I don't mind it, but I'm also stupid and like I'd pay any money for the steelbook.
$30 for a book.
Yeah.
Did you make sure? Is the book in English? Because what pissed me off about the Fire Emblem Three Houses special edition, the art book was not in English.
Oh, really?
Or even the CD.
I did not know that. That's interesting. So no, yeah, they're always in English. So they're always fully translated and stuff. That's weird that Fire Emblem wasn't though. I'd never heard that before.
I thought it was just mine, but then other people said that it was in Japanese.
That would be the most one in a million. That would be the most one in a million mix-up. Some guy at Nintendo just swapped out one of the copies with the Japanese.
But it's like that, and I'm like, thanks for the book I can't read. Jesus, I just hope it's not in Japanese for Xenoblade.
No, yeah. So the Xenoblade ones are always fully translated. They've been doing that ever since. Xenoblade actually X on the Wii U had a really nice thick, I think it was like almost like 180-page art book. It was all fully translated and stuff for that one. Trying to think though. But the other one with it, like, yeah. So like at this point with it, especially now that the game is leaked, and God bless, not even God bless, God dang YouTube.
It's not even like a Napalm plushie.
Oh my god. Because I've been replaying 1 and I'm currently replaying 2 and I'm trying to squeeze in Torna. I just keep thinking to myself, I'm like, how have they never sold Napalm merch? Because like there's plushies at Monolith Soft. Like they've made plushies of a couple of the characters from Xenoblade 1 and 2. They've just never sold them. And I'm like, these are like the most marketable plushes I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly, like in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, the expanded edition, what is it called?
Well, do you mean like the future connected part?
Yeah, in the future.
Oh my god, Ricky's kids, right? Like, where was the special edition? Oh, yeah, where was their like special edition? They were so cute. Oh my god.
And they just follow you everywhere with the little flags. I'm like, they should put a Napalm plushie in there.
Mm-hmm. Now here's the $1 million question: with the Napalm, do you have them talk or no?
The plushies or the Napalm in the game?
No. In the plushies, like, do you give them like a couple of voice lines? Because I feel like they have so many different little mannerisms, like they're memes or like they're like calling names twice and stuff. Like, do you like want them to talk or do you want them to shut up?
Well, if it's for a theoretical special edition, they probably won't go that extra mile. But maybe they could sell one separate. That would be actually really cute.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you hear me?
Oh no, yeah, I heard you. I said mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that would be really cute. I'll buy that.
But what is your hopes for, at least with it right now? Of like, are you excited? Is there anything you're worried about with it? Like right now, it's probably like top 3, like my most like anticipated games like all year, just because like it's so weird that we're finally like doing a proper trilogy for this game.
I am really excited. I was debating doing a video because, people out there spoiling and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, even if I put not spoiler, people will probably block Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm so excited that I probably won't stream it. I'll probably stream 1 and then just, like, consume the game after that.
That's like a full-time job stream of like, alright, we're going to do a full Let's Play series for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. We'll finish this at part 600.
I've done Let's Play series. So I could do that. It's just when I'm really into a game, I have to play it and I'll be like, okay, F the stream. Let me go play it. Then people are like, why are you ahead of the game? Didn't we just leave off at the last chapter? I'm like, well, Sorry.
But what do you think is like the longest game you've streamed to completion on your channel?
That would have to be Persona 5 Strikers.
Oh, nice. What was that?
There's a
How long
funny
did that
story
take you your
about
first
that.
time?
It took me a while, but there was this stream. Like I just beat the boss. I was tired and stuff, but the cutscenes would not stop. And literally, like there was a one cutscene after another, and I'm just like, I need to save this game so I could just go. And I was trying, like, in the stream, I was so tired because we did a whole dungeon and stuff, and the cutscenes would not stop.
Oh no, I
And I'm
did.
just like, well, ah.
Did you at least enjoy the ending? I like the ending of actually Persona 5 Strikers more than the original Persona 5 by a lot, but
I
I
liked it. It was really sweet. Especially with Pandora, not Pandora, Sophie. Pandora's
it's
her.
okay, she's got Pandora's box. It all ties in.
Yeah, it's her persona. But yeah, it was really cute. I like the whole I'm an AI. You gotta teach me how to become human. Thing they had going on. What's of this and what's of that?
See, I like Sophie a lot in Strikers, but honestly, like not Ketchy, Zenkichi like stole the show from me like everywhere. So I was like, nah, he's my favorite part of the whole game.
He's like a dilf.
He's
If you know what it is.
Zenkichi is like definite because like he's already a dilf without being a Phantom Thief member, and then when he puts on his outfit with like the guns and like the hat and the leather, like oh my god, this game knows
Yeah, it's like
game knows what they're talking about.
they're like, okay, we had MILFs, now here's the dilf.
Playable dilfs though, that's nice. You don't always get playable dilfs.
I liked his character. I liked the whole story, and it was a nice kind of side game. They put more
Yeah,
effort into it than like a dancing game.
it
So
it actually did the impossible task of like feeling like a sequel without just feeling like you've already done it before. You know.
yeah, it felt like a sequel, yes.
Um.
Though I highly recommend you
Mhm.
probably don't play on the Switch
Damn.
because the frame rates be bad. I played it on the PlayStation. It was smooth.
Oh, that's why.
And I'm just
That's
like,
why when the PS5 came out, I was so happy playing that on the PS5 because it's legitimately just 4K 60, and there's no other
uh,
Persona game that is in 4K or 60 like that at the same time. So it was so nice.
I had a lot of people while streaming. They're like, "Why does yours look so good?" And I was like, "Cause it's not the Switch version."
Wait a minute, your game's running at a stable frame rate. Honestly, like the frame rate's not the big one with me for Strikers. The big one is the load times. It loads so slow on Switch.
For me, it's the frame rate. Cause there's this. I'm not like a frame rate junkie. I could do a 30 if it's stable.
I'm ready
But
for
that
you to
type
like
of
say
game,
this, and we're gonna like skip ahead 3 years in the future, and you're gonna like be working for Digital Foundry. Be like, let me show you, all the minute pixel counts of this one game you've never heard of.
but I don't know. The Switch one, it's just really.
It's nice it's there at
It could
least.
have
I'll say that.
handled.
At least it's like, hey, thanks Koei Tecmo.
They
You
tried.
finally put Persona on the Switch. I appreciate it.
Now where's Persona 5? You hacks.
Just
The
a,
way they port, the way like Atlas ports their SMT and Persona games are really weird.
it helps when
I wonder
they're
if they do that
usually
on
not even the ones
purpose.
ever doing it, which is usually what ends up being the reason. Like they're not even ever the ones doing it themselves.
Like the Switch is like the perfect console to port a lot of their older games, like Persona 1, 2, Duology or whatever. A lot of the DS titles, Shin Megami Tensei 4, but it's just they don't.
Well,
I'm like, it's the perfect
I have a
console for
good
that.
segue to this. Speaking of games that aren't being brought over to Switch, we if we skip over to August on August 25th or 26th in the West, we have I was going to call it Shin Megami Tensei, but it's just Soul Hackers 2 coming to everything except the Switch. So where's the Mandy like hype check for Soul Hackers 2? Where are you at with this?
Well, I do have Soul Hackers for the 3DS. I haven't started it, and I wanted to play it first before I go to 2. People say, like, some people say you don't need to play the first one,
Definitely don't.
but
It's like you'll learn more about the world, but like there's nothing in 2 that requires knowledge of 1.
because I'm looking at 1, and then I'm looking at the promotional stuff for 2, and they look like totally different
Very,
games.
very much. Like, have you ever seen Force Awakens?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever watch Star Wars movies before Force Awakens?
No.
So it's like that. Like, Force Awakens is a sequel, but like you don't need to know anything about Star Wars because you can just follow Finn, Rey, Poe, and all of them and stuff. Because it's like it's in the world of the original. There's ties, there's some characters returning, but for the overall story, it's a completely fresh start for new people. Which is like, that's like my only complaint with Soul Hackers 2. I don't like that it's called Soul Hackers 2. Like, I have no problem with it being called Soul Hackers 2, but it's like, I feel like it might turn people away. Like, I feel like it almost would have worked better
Yeah,
if it
you
was like
see
a
that
subtitle.
too.
Like, call it like Neo Soul Hackers 2. Well, probably don't do Neo. Neo the World Interview showed that does not work well, but like, just do like some kind of like subtitle or like extra word in there that's not 2. Because I hope people are going to look at it and go, oh, it's 2? I didn't play the first one. I'm not going to buy it.
I mean, I played Persona 5, and I was like, oh.
True. That is kind of also probably their logic and mentality. They're like, oh, yeah, well, they did that for P5. They're not going to complain with this one.
I guess that's probably why they don't have their games connect too much. Because there's literally chaos. The SMT kind of universe of games. Like, I've heard of... What? It's a really long name. The guy with the samurai?
Oh, Raito Kuzunoha?
Yeah, the premise really intrigues me. But I can't play the game.
Well, I mean, you can just, you got a PS3?
Oh, Jesus.
You can play it on the PS3 and download the PS2 version. It's like $10.
Dang. But, you know, Atlas... it's just weird because I've heard of Soul Hackers, but it was never in anyone's top faves.
See, what's funny is, like, you're not wrong, but, like, Soul Hackers for me was always, like, one of my, like, was, like, until a couple years ago, it was, like, my favorite SMT game of all time. But mostly due to the setting. Because I'm such a sucker for that kind of, like, Blade Runner-looking, like, art style.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Well, I have it on my 3DS, so I could play it.
It holds
I
up.
bought it just to see how the gameplay is.
Did you buy like when it was cheap, or like have you seen like what it goes for nowadays? Because it's like expensive now.
I got it digitally.
That's okay.
And it
Save
was on
yourself
the
the money.
sale. I know, but like I'm a physical collector, so it hurts. But
Well, you know what? You can take out
$800
that out that loan and say, "Sorry, Live Alive, I got to buy an $80 DS game today." instead."
Exactly.
But is Soul Hackers one you think you might be picking up at launch? Waiting to kind of see like where are you at in terms of like hype with it?
I want to wait and see, and by I say wait and see.
You're waiting for it to go on Game Pass, aren't you?
Next day.
You're like, come on, Phil, put it on Game Pass. You know it's gonna be there. Just do it.
No, it's like when I say I'll wait and see, I'll probably buy it the next day.
I appreciate the honesty at least. Do you know like what system you'd want it on?
Please put it on Game Pass, but I guess PlayStation. Because I don't know, I'm more of a PlayStation gal. I do have an Xbox though.
Do you have a Series or a One?
Series.
Series S.
The one without
or
the
X?
The one that looks like a boombox.
Oh, okay, that's the S. The boombox one. I do appreciate the boombox.
It's a glorified Game Pass machine. Which
That's
is
okay.
weird because I have a PC, but hey. One of my friends got it for me.
It's a solid system. Like honestly, like one of the most underrated things about it.
Yeah,
Have you done quick resume on it? Like that's one of my favorite things of like just switching in between games really quickly.
I love the Xbox like UI and ecosystem and the Game Pass. Now, if they had like better JRPGs, I would dunk my PlayStation 5 no problem.
I'm just saying PlayStation doesn't have Octopath Traveler. Xbox got Octopath Traveler first, so you never know.
Yeah, and PlayStation has that weird Game Pass-esque service, but it's
I
really
don't
expensive.
I don't know a single person who has it. It's like the weirdest thing. It's like cool. It seems like a good deal, but like especially because like I buy all my games physically. I'm like, yeah, I'm like never gonna do this. Sorry, Stray.
Yeah, I bought Stray.
I'll say this
Like, I'm not paying all this
for
money
physically,
just for freaking...
Stray being $40 makes sense to me. Digitally, Stray being $40, I'm like, woof. It's expensive, Stray. It's an Annapurna money.
$30.
Oh, okay. It might have been one of those things where it's 30 digitally and it's 40 physically, so it's a little bit more. That makes more sense. 30 definitely seems way more like what I think is like a good idea for that. Do you think Soul Hackers 2, because you're kind of like definitely more of like the mainstream opinion for it, are people who aren't like diehard Shin Megami Tensei fans excited from it? Like, do you have any friends who are like, yeah, I can't wait for Soul Hackers?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who are Shin Megami Tensei fans. So yeah, they're pretty excited, which is cool. I'm a SMT fan. I consider myself now. I've only played like SMT 4 and 5
Hey,
and a bunch of Persona games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those weirdos. Like, most people don't consider this. If you play, like, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, I count that as an SMT game. So, like, I count pretty much everything.
I love that game.
So it's like one of those things where it's like, I mostly just use SMT as, like, a thing to say Atlas developed games by these, like, handful of people. Because, like, it's such a broad term now. Like, I count Jack Bros as a SMT game and, like, things like that for it. So it's a very wide net. But another one coming out the exact same day, and please rip off the Band-Aid fast. Another anime game, so you can hurt my feelings if you don't like this one.
God damn.
How do you feel about SD Gundam?
Okay, that one I could totally skip.
Okay, so SD Gundam Battle Alliance comes out. It's by Art Dink. It's another RPG. I hope it's good. There's a demo coming out in the West, which is surprising. Normally, we never get these games in the West, let alone physically, because I always have to like import them from Asia. I will just say this: I like Art Dink. I like, what is it? I like, Jesus, I cannot talk. I like the Gundam games and stuff, but they're really hit or miss of like what kind of ends up being like the case of like what happens with everything for it. But like if you don't like it, I'm not gonna try and sell you on it. It's just one of those things where it's like it's interesting it's coming out. I'm excited for it. It'll probably sell really, really well, but I'm just not like too sure of like what's gonna kind of happen with it. But like, have you ever played any of the like Gundam games or have any like thoughts on Gundam at all?
Nope.
Are you into any TCGs at all?
I used to like to open packs, but not for competitive reasons, just because I like the opening packs.
That's literally the only reason she buys Pokemon cards. She doesn't play Pokemon. She doesn't play Pokemon TCG. She loves cracking packs and looking at pretty pictures. That's literally all the reason.
She should start a YouTube channel.
Honestly, oh my god, dude! I get so mad. She'll like watch TikToks or like YouTube videos of it. I'll be like, wish I could do that. I'd be like, you can! Like, you just need a camera. You don't need anything else. You just open it. Like, you're at more of an advantage than I am. There's a million fucking white dudes opening packs. There's not a lot of women doing it.
Yeah, and it's like, it'll give you more reason to buy cards.
Oh, God.
I'll be like, oh, let me buy some packs for my video.
So this is funny. Like, I swore off TCGs for a really long time, and you're gonna laugh at me. I got into it because like a friend got into it, and I finally saw it at enough stores to be like, all right, I'll buy one, and then I got in bad. Digimon like 2 years ago had a TCG come out, and it is really good. Like the art is really really nice, and like the quality of the cards are like super super like high quality. Like it's real, and also the nice thing is it's fun to play. It's not confusing, it's fun to collect, and it's still pretty cheap.
I kind of got into Pokemon when it was really hard to find them.
Oh yeah,
I
like probably like
packs,
2021 and stuff, right?
Hmm?
Like 2021 or like 2020 or before that?
Yeah. 2020, 2021, where you had to like pre-order packs. I was like, this is getting ridiculous. I like, and plus they didn't really do as well on my channel. But
Oh, I know. Anytime I've done any card unboxing on my channel, it's like maybe 100 views. But like because it's such a low threshold, like it's such a low threshold. Like
yeah.
it's just fun for me to open it. Like I don't really care if anyone like wants to watch it. So it's like one of those things of like, whatever. Because I'm opening them for I'm
It gives
opening
me
them for
like
me.
Justification to open packs, really.
So,
But I had to stop though because they're expensive, and I was like, I don't get the same feeling anymore.
no, I definitely get that. And I mean, honestly, your wallet probably appreciates it more. And like, thankfully, like, I don't need to open packs as much as I do. So, like, usually I'll just be like, oh, I'll save up, buy a box, and then be happy for like multiple months.
Yeah.
But back to
And
our
plus,
list.
I never got anything good.
Oh no,
So.
it's okay. God, I know you got to get a Charizard or everything else is trash. Like the amount of cards like people don't care in Pokemon, like it like makes me so sad.
Yeah.
One last big shout out for August. We had a big one was Phantasy Star Online 2 is finally coming to PlayStation after many years of being only on Xbox and PC in the West. PlayStation 4
Weird.
players will finally get to play this. Well, remember, Microsoft literally paid for it to like Sega just never. It was like Bayonetta 2. Sega was never going to pay for it to come out. So it's like whatever. Because remember in Japan, Phantasy Star Online 2 was on the PS3. I think I know it was definitely on the Vita, PS4, Switch, and PC. There was no Xbox version at the time, so Xbox basically was like, all right, if you put it on Xbox, we'll put it on PC for you and pay for all the money.
Oh, wow.
But it is free to play, so you may be scared away by it. But it is an MMO. Like the free to play stuff is just cosmetics, whereas like it's not like it's like pay to win stuff. Thankfully.
Okay.
And here's another one. So for September, this one might be fast, mostly due to my lack of knowledge for it, but some people were interested. Have you watched the anime Made in Abyss?
No.
So
I've heard of it, though.
Yeah, exactly the same boat I'm in. So Made in Abyss, the video game, finally comes out in September on Switch, PC, and PS4. Somehow Spike Chunsoft is bringing that out in the West. I'm very surprised, because that seemed to me like that was a game that everyone... Like, if that stayed in Japan, I wouldn't be like, wow, I can't believe we never got this. It'd be like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But I know people are interested in it. Don't have too much to say. Unlike the next one I wanted to bring up, because I'm curious if you have any thoughts on this. Mandy, how do you feel about Dragon Quest?
Oh, I love Dragon Quest.
Now, this is only scheduled for Japan, but much like Grimoire, I feel it in my heart. My heart of hearts tells me it's coming to the West eventually. Dragon Quest X Online finally is going to come out on Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC. What do you know about Dragon Quest X? Are you excited for offline? Do you have no expectations? Have you been following it all? Anything like that?
I haven't really been following it, but it was an MMO, but it's gonna turn into a standalone.
So, fun fact, because most people don't know this because it's always been in Japan only. Did you know Dragon Quest X started as a Wii exclusive MMO?
Wow.
It's gone from the Wii, the Wii U, the 3DS. It was like a 3DS streaming only cloud game. It was really weird. PS4, PS5, PC. I was going to think if there's something else, but I think that's pretty much everything. So it's had single player content because it has like a full on story, but this is basically them taking all of the story in the game so far and making it into a smaller scaled but still massive story like RPG, like a traditional Dragon Quest.
Well, I'm actually glad that they're taking it worldwide instead of Japan. I've always hated when JRPGs...
For now, it is still not officially coming out in the West, but I'm like...
Oh, okay.
I can't imagine
weird.
they wouldn't do it. Because it's like, to not bring over the MMO, I understand. Like, I don't think Dragon Quest is popular enough worldwide for it to make sense to come out as an MMO. but like this is an offline product. This like Dragon Quest X has still never come out in the West. It's like, please, just give it to us.
Have they not seen the sales of 11?
11 sold well, but 11 still didn't sell like Final Fantasy well. Like it didn't sell well enough to justify an MMO, you know?
Well, they're gonna probably be like, save it until they need money.
Well, it's a dumb one, but like I still am sad we never got it. I really would have loved it. Like, do you remember when Dragon Quest XI came out in Japan? It was on 2 platforms, and they were 2 very different versions.
Yep. They
So
always go hard on Japan.
I wanted the 3DS version really bad because that 3DS version is like it's still the same game as the PS4 version, but just on 3DS graphics. But like they literally had to like demake the game twice for 3DS, and like I always wish like we could have gotten that. It looks so cool.
It's so like for me, it's weird when they don't do worldwide releases on things, because at this point, the gaming the gaming community and everybody's around the world, and there's fans from all over the place. So I really don't like this whole Japan only thing. I've been very vocal about it because it's like annoying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they put it to the West when they need money or something. But it's like we have diehard fans in the West. Why is it just Japan?
I think it's one of those things where like it's definitely becoming much more rare of a case. Like we're not in the timeline where you can release a game and then release it in the West 9 months later. Like we're not in that era. And like if you do that, like you have to have a good excuse.
I'm glad.
But at the same time, like there are definitely some cases where I can understand. Like I'll say this, it is weird, especially because we're going to get into this now with the rest of the fall. Square Enix releases like 1 million RPGs from people like brands you've never heard of. So like Dragon Quest still not having a release date, and then we have like 9 other games that are first IPs is really weird. But like at the very least, I more so look at it like a thing of like, okay, it's not a matter of if it ever comes out. It's more of just a matter of when does it come out. Like, I think this is a 2023 game to me, probably.
Because the thing with Dragon Quest, it's always like an old school mindset with Dragon Quest, especially with music and stuff. So, in Japan, it's like a holiday or something when a new Dragon Quest game comes out.
100%.
And then, like, bruh, do you have fans in the West, too?
We're hungry, man. Dragon Quest XI was a long time ago.
Like, I don't know. It's like, it's a weird mindset that, oh, Japan gets it first, or it's just Japan exclusive. I'm just like, we support your games when they come to the West, you know?
So I got a question for you. How do you feel about PSP games taking over a decade to release?
I thought the PSP was dead.
PSP is dead, unfortunately, but thank you for reminding me. But that's not going to stop Falcom and NIS America from releasing The Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero on PC, Switch, and PS4 on September 27th.
I mean, if they want it on the PSP, then by all means.
I will say, I'm glad that this, like, they're really doubling down on making the, like, Falcom games that we've never got released. I hope that they know that's not going to be a game that sells 100,000 copies. Probably. Like, that's going to be Atelier series numbers. Like, I hope that we know that. I don't want them thinking it's going to, like, be the next Dragon Quest.
Atelier series? Yeah, it's a niche. Even with Ryza, it was still kind of niche.
That's how you know, like, Atelier was niche, because remember, Ryza was the first one to sell over 1 million, and they were like, oh my god! Like, we've never sold this many before!
Look what happens when we show some thighs.
That's how you know that series was, like, mentally in such a different place before Ryza, because remember, like you said, they were all kind of connected trilogies without being sequels, and then Ryza was like, fuck it, Ryza 2, Sophie 2, let's get sequels time. Like, who has to start over again?
Like, I discovered the franchise with Ryza, and I fell in love, so, like, I want more. Atelier games.
Did
So
you
I have a
know
lot
that
to
there is
talk
actually a
about.
Warriors game on PS4 and Vita that actually has an Atelier character? It has Atelier Sophie in it, but it's a Warriors game.
Really?
Look it up when you get a chance. It's called Warriors All Stars. It is basically Koei's Super Smash Brothers for Warriors games. It has the guy from Neo, Sophie's in it, Ninja Gaiden
Oh.
characters. It's got Nobunaga as a cat. It's got one of the wildest rosters ever. It's got like everyone you could think of outside of Fatal Frame characters from Koei and Tecmo. So it's not just Dynasty Warriors or Samurai Warriors, like they're in there as well, but it's got like all their different IPs. So like the fact that like Sophie's in there as a character, it is insane. I love it.
That concept is crazy, but is it like Japan only?
It is Japan only on the Vita, but it did come
Gotcha.
out on PS4
God
in
damn.
English, and it's very cheap. Like you can buy it for like $10. It's a super cheap game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so the
That's
only reason
cool.
you'd have to import it is if you'd want the Vita version. So,
Okay.
trying to think of there was another one. Oh yeah, actually going back in time, I skipped one. My favorite. Speaking of Square Enix and the people who brought you Monarch, did you play Monarch this year?
Monarch?
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Do you know why? Because it came out the week of Elden Ring. Why? Why did you do that to poor Monarch? Oh.
Well, I really hated Elden Ring, so
So the
my Twitter
Dealfield
was on
Chronicles, the Dealfield Chronicle, it's not multiple chronicles. The Dealfield Chronicle comes out the day after my birthday, September 22nd, and is no joke my most anticipated RPG for no reason at all outside of the fact that let me sell you this on the game if you're not aware, because most people like this was revealed in a PlayStation State of Play, and I feel like no one's thought about it since. Thank God there's a demo coming out next month. I'm very excited for it. It is a tactical RPG. It is made by the people who did Monarch, who also worked on other Atlas games like Lost Dimension, and has some people on like who've worked on a lot of really good like strategy games. It plays like a tactical RPG, but the music is by the guys who did both Pacific Rim and Game of Thrones, which is absolutely mental.
What?
And the story is helmed by the guy who did the story of Fire Emblem Awakening.
Wow, that is a dang.
Yeah. So, very excited, really, really optimistic. It's looked really, really solid outside of not having too much. They've shown it off a lot more in Japan than the West. But Dealfield Chronicle, it's coming to everything. Switch, PS4, PC, PS5, Xbox, Xbox One, Series X, all that stuff. Looks awesome. I cannot recommend it enough if you like strategy games, or at the very least, like it basically looks like Square Enix's take on a like high fantasy Fire Emblem like thing, but with 3D models. Like it looks very, very solid.
Wow.
And not even 2 weeks later, I'm gonna have to find it here because my God, these all just bleed into each other. Where did you go? Valkyrie Elysium comes out on PS4 and PS5 exclusively, which is weird because in November is when it comes to PC. But somehow Sony wanted to pay up exclusive money for Valkyrie Elysium. The action role-playing game. Do you have any experience with the Valkyrie Profile series?
Valkyrie Profile. It's like Valkyrie Chronicles?
No, they get confused a lot, even though they're very different. So they are originally they were pixel-based RPGs, and Valkyrie Profile started as a PS1 game, and then Valkyrie Profile was a PSP game eventually. I think it was PSP and PS2. I may be a little bit wrong on that one, but Valkyrie Elysium is like the first game the series has had in like almost 15 years, coming to PS4 and PS5. And the cool thing is they're actually remastering and putting out on the same day as it the PSP version called Valkyrie Profile Lenneth. So if you want classic Valkyrie Profile, you can get the remastered PSP one, or you can play the brand new one at the end of September as well. And I will say this, It's looked a lot better because it was another one that was revealed at that last state of play, not the one with Resident Evil, but the one before that. It was revealed there. It looked a little rough, but has improved a lot visually. I hope they do a demo because I think this would help it a lot. But if you are interested and you're someone who likes free steelbooks, for some reason this game's getting a steelbook at Best Buy, and it looks absolutely insanely gorgeous. I'll send you a picture of it so you can check it out. But it is weirdly pretty. Like, this game has very, very good looking art, even though it has no reason for it. If you are not aware,
I'm a sucker for good art.
Yeah, like if you're not aware of the Valkyrie series, it's like not one that's like, oh my god, you're missing out on like the greatest RPG series of all time. But it is a good one to kind of check out for. It's got great music, really good storytelling, and things like that for it. So I'm optimistic for it, but I'm aware like this is going to be this is going to release, and a week later people might forget it was out, even though it's like PlayStation exclusive. Should we give a shout out to Nier Automata? Like, I know it's not really an RPG, but like I feel like it's kind of an RPG. Like, hey, don't forget Nier Automata comes to Switch. I won't be playing it, but I'm sure people will be.
I played it on the PlayStation, so I already played it, and it's one of my favorite games.
Good
so
soundtrack.
I'm probably just gonna buy the Switch version.
Wow, isn't that weird? I just realized Platinum has 2 games coming to the Switch, starting October with Nier and ending October with Bayonetta 3.
The Switch is a good console.
It's
just very underpowered.
The Switch is drowning in exclusives this year compared to fucking Last of Us, and I'm trying really hard to think. I know there's something for Xbox. There's like that game Obsidian is making. It's very slim pickings for Xbox and PlayStation exclusives this year. But
yeah.
I think October's pretty dry. Oh my god! Okay, so it's not this. I think it's our first not Japanese RPG, but I have to talk about this. If you don't care, that's fine. I can move on, but I gotta bring this up. October 20th, a day before Persona 5 Royal to Switch, and Xbox and PS5. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I am so excited. Okay, so for everyone out there who has not played the first one, why did you like it, or why are you excited about the sequel? Let me know, please. Give me a talking break.
It's such a great game. I feel like it's a better Mario game than Nintendo could make.
Damn.
I mean, I love the Paper Mario series and Mario and Luigi, but like, they did such a good job, Ubisoft, with such a very memorable character, Nintendo. It's like Nintendo doesn't give Mario out to just anybody. So it came out really good, and it came out really better than I thought it would. I thought it was just gonna be some cheap cash grab, but god damn, it was so good and funny.
Good music, really funny, surprisingly good looking. Like, it's a really good looking like RPG, and also like it's a Mario RPG with like guns and a bunch of other stuff as well. For like it's a concept that shouldn't work. Like, if you look at Rabid Peach and say, "Do you think this game is good?" You wouldn't be like automatically wrong. You'd be like, well, this is probably going to be bad. But like, it nailed it on so many like different eras and stuff. Like, so with 2, my only complaint is like, I cannot believe how long it's been in development. Like, it's been 5 years from the first game to this one. So like, I would never have thought it took this long.
It shouldn't have been that long.
Well, I'm hoping that means that like they really put a lot of care and time into this one, which I think they have. I will say, the little things like of how the battle system and like honestly just adding in Bowser has made me really excited. Like, I'm really excited to like see the characters in the world, and like honestly, like, sorry Paper Mario, but like, we've not had a good Mario RPG since the first Mario Rabbids. So like this one, and also, let's be honest, they added Yoko Shimomura, Grant Kirkhope is still there. I forget the other guy, but he did music for Ori. He also is very, very good. Like, the addition to everything added to this just looks like the first game, but better.
Yeah, and I'm just like so happy. I was like, when they first announced it, I was like, oh yeah, like, because a lot of people are like, you know, doesn't give it a try because they don't like the rabbits,
I
and
know.
I'm like, that's fine, but they're very funny. It's just a very
I'm at least
nice
glad,
game.
like, the game is so cheap. Like literally just like a week ago or so. Like, literally just like a week ago or so, it was on sale. Like, the game and the season pass was like 10 or $15. And I was like, that is such a steal. Like, that is a game you can get all the time.
Yeah, I paid $60 for that game, so it's dirt cheap now. It always goes on sale. I recommend it all the time.
Next up, little indie game comes out the day after. Persona 5 Royal, coming to Switch, PS4, PS5. Well, it's already on PS4. PS5, Xbox One, Series X, Windows. Uh,
Damn.
I'm excited to cover it. I will be amazed if I beat it again. I'll say that. Like, this will be one where I'm like, yeah, if I don't get a review code, I'll definitely just be checking it out on Game Pass and probably calling it a day. But I know this is a huge deal for so many people. Like, for you, does this do anything for you, like, coming to other platforms, or are you probably going to just be playing the new stuff?
I'm excited and I'm glad it's coming to other platforms, especially the Switch, because Joker's in Smash. So, that like here's the game that he's in. I'm kind of worried about how it might perform, but other than that, I'm glad that Switch owners could play it. I played Royal twice. I beat it twice, so I'm not like in a rush to play it again. But
Now, I
yeah,
can
I'm pretty
understand beating it the first
excited.
time. Why did you beat it twice?
Um,
New
I
Game
just
Plus?
wanted to. I was just into Persona so bad that I beat it twice.
You were thirsty. You were thirsty for more Persona. Um,
Yeah, and plus the game is really old,
are you
so
ready? Are you ready for another RPG from Square Enix? Because I got another one for you.
damn Square Enix, what the hell?
Did you know that on where did you go? You just moved. October 27th, Star Ocean 6 comes out. Still by Tri-Ace, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series, PC. Coming out. I am excited. It looks good. It looks like surprisingly ambitious for a Star Ocean game, although Star Ocean I feel like is a series you either know you're into it or not. It's not one that like you need to have played the others for it. So if you're not interested, I definitely get it, but like I'm a long time Star Ocean fan since like the PlayStation 1 days. Do you have any experience with the series at all though?
No.
That's okay. Uh,
Um, I
mhm.
wasn't really interested. Never really picked it up. Maybe I'll try one. Or
I will
no.
say this is like a good wait and see because it's either going to be like, oh, that's pretty good. I'll pick it up like on the cheap for Black Friday or something, or is it going to be like, oh, it's okay. It's like one of those ones where it's like it's. I love Tri-Ace, but they're really hit or miss in terms of like how they nail it apart. Like Star Ocean 4, I could not have cared less. Star Ocean 5, I really liked, but I know a lot of people thought was pretty underwhelming. So it just really goes to show like a lot of those are just like all over the place in so many ways. Um, Believe it or not, I think we only have two games left, and I'm going to go out of order because one is way more of a well. No, they're both equally kind of like in that level. So we'll do the final Square Enix game. Oh no, just kidding. There's three. I forgot. Okay, we'll do
Holy cow.
one Square Enix, another one most people might not care about, but I need to give a shout out to, and then end on another Square Enix, and it's actually just been in the news today. So Harvestella, we talked about a little bit ago, Switch exclusive, but is coming to
Woo!
PC. I'm normally not big into like the farm games. Like I like Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons. I've actually still not played. Um, oh my god, it's the one everyone loves. I'm gonna be so dumb for not remembering this.
Stardew?
Stardew. I've still never played Stardew because I kept thinking that the guy who made it clearly must love money, so he would release a physical version on the PS Vita. He made a Vita version, why wouldn't he? No, he never did. So I'll have to buy that one day and play it on Vita. But I've heard Stardew is amazing. This basically looks like someone at Square Enix was like, hey, what if we just made one of those? And it looks really good. Like, what do you think of Harvestella so far?
I love Harvestella because I'm big into farming sims, and not gonna lie, they don't really step it up graphically or
No,
anything.
not at
So
all.
just like looking at a more higher quality kind of farming sim, I'm really excited to see how it comes out. I'm buying it day one. I'm just like, I was really excited because I love farming sims.
I'm
But I'm tired of the ones that look like Stardew Valley.
there's a lot that like it's really easy for them just to kind of be like, hey, we're pixel art, we're indie, we're really cheap. Like there's a lot of Stardew Valley likes, but there's not a lot of 3D ones trying to kind of like take up that mantle, you know?
It's kind of like Rune Factory, but because it has the RPG aspects too. And I just feel like it's gonna be a great game. No, it's gonna be a fantastic game.
I'm excited because I think like they have a good idea for a loop, like of having the different seasons and the times and like the like death season and whatnot. With like, there's a lot of interesting bones to it. I'm excited. My only worry, because it is 3D, I hope performance looks good or at least runs good. It doesn't have to look good. If it can play good, that's really what I
Especially,
need.
um, if you played other farming sims, those things run like are clunky. So if it just runs normally, that would be good. I know it's kind of harsh to say, but like
I mean,
the farming
I've
sim
played
content,
Farming Simulator on the Vita, so I'm sure it's not going to chug any worse than that game did.
exactly, and I feel like the farming simulator genre, cozy stuff, it's just been on like this whole pixel stuff, and I know that's because it's easier to make for indies, and I respect that, but God, we need to put more effort, man. And I'm glad games like this are coming out, 'cause they could step up their game a bit,
Hmm.
because like I know a lot of people are here like saying, "Oh my God, is this the next Stardew?" I'm like, that's not even close to Stardew,
I
but
mean, I feel like
hopefully it's
every
next
game that
Stardew.
people have thought might be the next Stardew has definitely not been the next Stardew Valley. I feel like Stardew has just been in such a league of its own that no one else kind of comes close to it.
It's a fun game. I played Stardew. It's not as memorable as like everyone says it is,
Damn,
but
shots
it's a
fired.
good game.
I,
So
I appreciate it.
Stardew,
Oh my god, Mandy, I am so stupid. We almost ended this list, and we're still not done because we now have 3 games again to do. The other 2 are going to be
mhm,
pretty quick and small. Our final game of this list, you're going to like actually hit me when I say this. I was like, just closing out this list. Be like, all right, we got every RPG I could think of this year. But I'm so mad at myself. I almost forgot this.
if I forgot, then you forgot. That's fine.
It's such a big one.
All right.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so like all in all, I think definitely check it out, even if you're not like accustomed to life sim like farming like ones for it, because it has action. It's not like it's
Yeah.
just farming. Like it has like stuff in it as well. So like it looks solid. Um, Music seems all good for it. The developer and everything. Like I'm weirdly optimistic for this, even with everything kind of
Finally, a
going in.
good-looking game.
Especially because I was just surprised it was Switch exclusive. I was like, really? Like everything else Square's been doing hasn't been Switch exclusive. So it's kind of interesting that like that either they wanted to or Nintendo wanted that. So that's a really interesting one for me. Our final Square game of the night, finally after 9 games, we have Tactics Ogre Reborn, which is interesting because it's still not even been announced yet. It's been leaked like 900 times, but Tactics Ogre Reborn, the remaster or remake or whatever. Well, it's not a remake. It's definitely just a remaster. But the port remaster of Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together is coming out at least on PS4 and PS5 on November 11th. Have you ever played Tactics Ogre? And if so, what are your thoughts on it?
Mm-mm. I've never played Tactics Ogre.
Do you have like any Do you have, like, any Final Fantasy Tactics experience or anything like that?
Yeah.
So,
While I didn't like Triangle Strategy story, the
it's
gameplay was
true.
pretty solid.
You didn't. I mean, this is less story than that, so there's at least that for you. It's like the sister series of Final Fantasy Tactics. They're not related, but there's definitely like kind of like takeaways and things like that from it. But I'm excited because it's a really great PSP game. This, to me, coming out in November, literally like 2 days after God of War, I'm like, I hope they don't go into this expecting it to, like, blow anyone's Like, this is a weird November release for me. But, like, I'm glad it's coming. It's one of, like, the best, like, PSP games of all time, so to see it getting ported is absolutely fantastic. But is a weird choice, but is not our final game. This is also still not our final game. I want to give a shout out to this because it's like literally one of the best Vita games of all time and best RPGs. Have you played any of the Ys games?
Yes, I have. I played Ys 8.
Ooh, good.
And I'm currently still playing Ys 9, I think.
So I still haven't gotten around to
Werewolf.
9. So, like, 9, I've only avoided mostly due to the fact that, like, it came out at a busy time, and I haven't heard, like, the best things about it in comparison to 8. But,
It's called Northstorm Knox or something.
Yeah.
Northstorm Knox.
So, with, what was it? So, with, my god, my brain is not working. So, with Ys 8, it is finally now coming out on PS5, which is hilarious because it used to be a Vita exclusive, then went to PS4, then went to PC, then it went to Switch, and now it is coming to PS5 as mostly still just a it is still just a PS Vita looking game, but like a little bit more high-res and stuff. But like, I am
That's weird.
like I'm excited because like I think like if it's a budget price, I think it'll do really, really well because like that is such a great game. Like that is probably the best Ys game in the entire series. But like as someone like you who's like played it, like what's something about like Ys 8 that you might like tell someone who's like never checked out the series before? Because like most people don't necessarily think of them when it comes to RPGs, but like they are like it's been around since like the TurboGrafx. Like they've been around for a long time.
Yeah, I did a worth to buy a while ago for Ys 8. So I was like looking, okay, what was the first Ys 8 game? It's so old, it came out in a system that's not even like I know about. It's like a computer. And I was like,
you can
frick?
if you want
Where
if you
did
feel
this come-
if you feel comfortable dating yourself. How old are you? So like I'm 28. I wasn't even around when the TurboGrafx was like active, but like I only know about it because like I'm into retro stuff, and I had an uncle with a lot of things
I'm
like.
28 too.
Oh, you're the same age? Wow, that is very funny. I would not have guessed that. You could have been like.
People think I'm younger.
That is too funny. It's the voice. It's the voice that does it. It's the soft voice that makes me think you're a ripe 18 coming off the stream.
No, I've been here.
Oh my
28.
gosh. 28 long years, or were they quick years? Depends
long, I guess?
depends on the year.
I don't know. Each year's different, but
wow, that is
but yeah.
You're like just like full of different surprises. First with Amanda, and now by also telling me you're just as old as I am. Because normally I'm the old one on the podcast, so that actually makes me feel a little bit better. So thank you.
Yeah. People always think I'm younger. When they say 28, I'm like, yeah.
Well,
I know my life is shit, and I'm 28.
Oh my
whatever.
gosh, I would hope your life is not. I mean, hey, I can tell you about my life. If you want to feel better about your life, I can tell you about my life, and then that might make you feel a little bit better
it's not
about
a
yours.
contest.
We'll have a depress
Whose
off.
life is worth nothing. Well, at least you have a wife. I have nobody.
You have a life, though. That's you can trade that. You have a life instead of a wife.
That is a very good advice.
But
You should hope that.
I have some good news for you, because if we're feeling old and we want to feel young at heart, what's the final RPG that I am so stupid and forgot somehow? Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. How did I... That's literally, like, that's gonna be the best-selling game this year. How did I forget that?
I forget that Pokemon's an RPG all the time. Gotta put it in its own kind of genre.
Did you guys know Pokemon's kind of a big deal? Pokemon, I will say this. Mostly due to what they've shown and Pokemon Arceus being as much of a breath of fresh air as it was, I am very excited for this. I will at least be picking it up day one. I hope it's as ambitious as it like kind of looks. But like for you, like where's the hype check for Pokemon?
Well, me and Pokemon have a weird relationship. I actually made a video saying why I hate modern Pokemon games, and I hated Sword and Shield. But I'm one of those people who still buy it day one, even complaining. Because I've always bought, Pokemon games. So it's kind of like, people are like, well, if you don't like it, then don't play it. And I'm like, well, I have a YouTube channel, so I have to, even though I don't have to.
Mr. Nintendo's got his head next to you. He's like, all right, come here. It's time. Gotta buy my game again.
That's just, like, justified.
Did you make that video pre or post Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl?
Post.
Okay, that definitely makes more sense.
I actually like Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Really?
Mostly because it was just a remake of the other one.
That is surprising.
But Sword and Shield, oof. Why isn't nobody talking? So weird.
Sword and Shield feels like one of the most low-budget games I've ever seen in my life. Like, I remember seeing that and just being like, what happened? Like, it was so confusing to me.
It's a multi-billion-dollar company, and that's all they come up with. Indie games have more.
I mean, at least, I was at least glad for them. At least Legends felt like someone was trying there. So that, like, made me excited. Like, the fact
I actually really liked it.
Mm-hmm. And like, the fact that they're incorporating that stuff into Scarlet Violet, and the fact that, like, Scarlet Violet has 4-player, like, co-op is awesome. Because, like, I loved playing co-op in Pokemon Let's Go.
I don't know. I feel like there's a caveat there. That's too good to be true.
We're gonna, like, find out it runs at, like, 5 frames a minute.
And then probably you're gonna be locked into only using one Pokemon or something.
Oh my gosh. Would you believe it or not if I said there's actually another game I meant to mention? I'm not going to make you talk about it, but I at least want to give it a shout out because we talked about it kind of, but I am excited because it does just look like Persona 5, and it is made by the people who developed Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl Laika. Do you know which game I'm talking about?
No.
One Piece Odyssey comes out this fall. We still don't have a date for it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I said,
It's okay.
That was my knee-jerk reaction.
Just anytime I hear One Piece, I have to gag. But, like, I'm excited for it because I love One Piece. I love RPGs. It is the first, I think, ever turn-based One Piece game with a completely original story. So don't worry, it's definitely filler. It looks good. It's on basically everything, like next-gen and current-gen. I actually don't think it's going to be on Switch. I may be wrong about that, but I'm curious if... I know you have your disgust of One Piece, but has this One Piece turn-based RPG done anything for you, or no?
Animes that get turned into games really don't do well for me.
Mm-hmm. By the way, it is not on Switch.
Fairy Tail,
definitely not on Switch.
And that one is like, I don't know, just an anime that gets turned into a game. It's just weird. It never works out for me.
What are your thoughts on the Attack on Titan video game?
I never played it, actually.
It's surprisingly good. There's a demo for 2 if you ever get bored one day and want to check it out. It's it's way better than it has any right to be, and there's a lot of bad Attack on Titan games.
Well, I'm still recovering from that ending, so I don't think I'll pick it up anytime.
I'll end it with this, because we've definitely, absolutely done a terrible job of keeping this to 90 minutes. But I want to ask you a question. Do you think One Piece actually comes out this year? So they've said 2022, but with how crowded this year is, I'm almost kind of like, I would just delay this to next, like, January. Like, this is such a crowded year for RPGs. I'm like, where do you even release One Piece?
I know, save some stuff for the next year.
Yeah, so do you want to do you think it releases, or I guess, do you think it releases, like, should it release, or will it get delayed?
I really can't say, but if it gets released, I hope people enjoy it. If it gets delayed,
coming from the person who literally, when I said One Piece, made a gagging noise. I hope you like it though, but.
But yeah, I hope it releases early.
As well, I don't know. I would like it to be as good as it can, especially because the developer who's making it does not have AAA game experience. They're mostly known for really, like, meh budget games. I almost kind of want it to get delayed to, like, January or February, because I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, if this game's as big as it says it is, I don't think I need another massive RPG this year.
It's an anime game. I mean, can't expect much from those.
Damn. You're taking shots, but you're not wrong at the same time. I'm just saying. But that was our very long, what I thought would be short, RPG discussion. Somehow that turned into a 2-hour episode. Mandy, I am so sorry that went so long. I don't know where your timer went for the 90 minutes, but it definitely did a bad job at using her timer.
It's okay.
But thank you for letting me talk with you. Before I do my normal, where can people find us? Where can people find you? They're probably frothing at the mouth now, waiting for those Harvestella streams. So where can they follow you?
You can follow me on my Twitter at Mandy Lee Plays, and again, I do have a channel called Mandy Lee Plays on YouTube. So if you want to join, then see you there.
And let me see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Because, yeah, you do all your streaming and your videos all on YouTube only, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, let me pull up my little list here. So, all the links for Mandy and all of our stuff, like finding the podcast. Don't forget you can join the Discord, Facebook group, follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube. All that stuff really, really helps. But besides those links, if you actually want to really, really help, besides just listening and sharing, which is always appreciated, you can support the show on Patreon, which is patreon.com/SMTN. That's patreon.com. And by going to there, you can donate as little as $1 a month to get this episode early, just like this episode. Or by getting the $5 and up tier, you can be a SMTN executive producer and get your name shouted out at the end of each episode, just like the following producers: Jagengus, Budweiser Tall Cans, Carlos Hernandez, Contraband, Cross Renren, K-Horse, Patrick Dissart, Philip Meyer, C-Show, Solaire, Stuart Edward Bateman, Cameron Sharp, and everyone else at the $1 and up tier. Thank you so much for helping keeping this show afloat. It really helps. I am not joking when I said moving sucks physically and financially, so every little bit helps with the hosting fees, the bills, everything associated. Maybe one day I'll have the guts to start a GoFundMe for a streaming computer, so Mandy won't be the only one streaming Three Hopes all by their lonesome. But, Mandy, thank you so much for letting me steal you for so long. It was great catching up with you. I am excited I will be in your DMs probably a lot, either being very happy and talking Xenoblade with you, or very sad because I will be not playing as much Xenoblade as I would like. But there are a lot of games coming out. We have a lot of fun stuff going forward, and it was good. It was just a good chatting with you for the whole time.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
It's nice to talk about JRPGs.
You got to get dragged on more shows. The hard thing is, because I'm easy. In all, every sense of the word. You can take that however you want, internet. I'm easy. If you want ever me to be on something, I dare you to find someone who says I said no. Because I'll pretty much be on whatever. But I never expect that from most people. Because it's always that thing where I'm like, listen, I could just do this all the time because I never shut up, and I'm a very different person when I'm at my day job, and I don't get to talk this much, especially about games. But it's even more fun when I get to bring on new people, either be first time or returning and stuff for it. So just want to let you know, I appreciate talking to you. I like getting your perspective. I never would have known we were the same age. Mandy can be shortened from Amanda, and that you hate One Piece. This was a day of revelations for me, and I learned a lot.
Well, it was nice having a conversation. I always like to, when people say it's about RPGs or JRPGs, I'm like, okay, you got me.
Sorry, I should have said this is the Genshin only episode. We're only going to be talking about Genshin Impact. Does that change your enthusiasm?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Alright, well, thank you everybody for listening. I'm going to start editing this, and maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get to have dinner before I watch Better Call Saul and crawl back into bed. What are you going to do for the rest of your night?
Play some games.
Ooh, more Three Hopes?
Probably more, Three Hopes, yeah.
Alright. Well, enjoy your night. Enjoy whatever time you're listening to this, everybody. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Peace.